Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, it's been a while since I've made actually a full-length video, but I thought I'd film a video of me rebuilding my 787 jet ski engine. Now, I've done it just for you guys. I've pulled the engine all apart because I had it rebuilt. If you watched my previous video, I had it all rebuilt, but I thought just for you guys, I'll pull it all apart again and rebuild it. When I was rebuilding it, I didn't press in the rotary shaft far enough. The rotary seals on my actual crank got dislodged a little bit, and when I went and put it in the ski, it started leaking oil into the cylinders. So I pulled it all apart, and here we are, we're going to rebuild it, and thought I'd film a video as well. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Both halves of my crankcase here. Now I've already pressed in, and I say already pressed in, I mean I haven't even pulled it out, my rotary shaft. So now all that's left to do is to put this retaining clip in, just in the little groove just in front of the seal. There you go. So you got Loctite 518. I'm just going to put a thin bead over the top, and then I'm going to skim over it with my finger, because that's what the manual calls for. And then I want to get inside properly this time, inside these chamfers where the rotary seals go. Now I want to put a little bead of it just in this where the counterbalance shaft seals goes in. Pretty much same thing on the other half. So now take your crank, get the right orientation, is make sure all of these dowels are just facing up. That way you don't have to rotate too much. Like so. Now you can put just sit it in, so you can rotate those bearings around. That one's in. There we go, that's in. Now I'm just going to double check the seals are actually in properly. Now we can put our counter in. Go to your counterbalance shaft, which is here. And you're going to have a little alignment groove on your counter, and if you rotate your crank around, you also have a little alignment on there. So how I lined it up is you just want to get that tooth there and line it up with the notch in there, then rotate your crank around like so. 518 off my hand. These seals, your next thing, you gotta make sure they're in as well. There we go. That's in. That's in. Now I'll just rotate it. Make sure they're lined up. Yep. Now I'll just crank it around, make sure nothing's binding. Yep. You also do not want to forget your little C-clip that goes in there. If we put anything else on, you want to put your crankcase seal, bead around the outside, just a little one, like that, and then place your seal in, and then you should have a little shim, and just place your shim in, a little corresponding groove. Then you can take your little block off cap, place it in here as close as you can. There we go. Perfect. And grab your other half of the crankcase. I'll just line it up with con rods and drop it down. Like so. Go ahead and flip your engine over. start torquing down all your bolts. Get all your crankcase bolts, and what I like to do is I like to go and put a bit of 5/18 on, just a quick strip on the bolts, a little one just down the center, and place them. And then when you're fastening them down, most things, as always, you want to go in a crisscross pattern, just so everything is down evenly. There's even pressure. So these smaller ones are 11mm and the larger ones 13mm. The 13mm, I believe they're going to be 40 Newton meters. Pretty much crisscross again, same sequence. Rightio. Draw those ones. Now we'll switch to 11mm. Do up the rest of these. 17 foot-pounds. Rightio. Now we can flip it back over. We got the case done. Next step is going to be getting this ready again. As you can see, old 5/18 on there that I had to take off. So on your case, just get a light coat of 5/18 around here. Looking crazy. I just want to do the same thing on this side. Both sides. Your gasket on. Just make sure you get the orientation right. And that gasket maker will also act as a bit of a glue just to hold it in place for now, so we can lift it and put it on. Move the case on the edge of the table and install your made case. Like so. And we'll do up these bolts. We can now start assembling the top end. So I've got obviously my pistons here, and that one's pretty much removed. I've already lubed these up, these cage bearings. Just put one in there, got the other one. Make sure I know where it is. Now you're going to have two, obviously your two rings. If you don't know much about engines, there's the one with the bevel, and there's one with no bevel. One with no bevel goes on first, on the bottom. So just get it on, walk it on and around, and then make sure you have it lined up with the groove. And then with the beveled edge facing up, find the groove where it is, and just walk it around until it snaps in. We can then install it. So I've already kept one of my C-clips in. So obviously you want to keep your C-clips one side on, and then you want to have on the top of your piston, there should be an arrow. You just want to make sure that arrow is facing the exhaust, which is the rotary plate, rotary valve side, whatever you want to call it. I'll just put wrist pin through, so let's do a little bit, and you shouldn't have to be forcing any of this. It should just all pop in. Make sure it's all lined up. Push it through. Hooks up the C-clip, and then grab your other C-clip, and you want to put your C-clip in, and make sure that your relief is facing away from the relief on the actual piston. There we go. And you just want to go around, make sure that's sitting in the groove. Make sure your arrow's facing there again, and do the same with the other side. And now put our cylinders on. Bit of 5/18 on the case. Just for my gasket to sit on. And now before we continue, I've got a lube up crank. So it calls for 40mm, and if you look down, I couldn't be bothered moving the camera, but if you look down, you can see a little hole just below the piston. That's where you want to fill it. So 40mm in there, and you should be gold. So fill this up real quick. And before I forget, which I know I'll forget, C-clip sitting in its groove. Lovely. Right, C-clips in. Now, a bit of 518 on these cylinders. Get my 518, just do another thin coat, nothing crazy. So you probably don't really have to watch this video. I just thought I'd make a bit of a video about it, but go watch their video. It's much more informative, but I have included a couple of things that they left out. So, don't make the same mistake as me. Press that rotary shaft in a little bit more, because I think that's where I went wrong. Rightio, cylinders are on, and we can put our bolts in. So they should be 13 mil. Should be 40 Newton meters to torque down with. So I've gone in and installed my O-rings around the top of my cylinders. And I've installed the water jacket seals around the outside of the actual cylinder cases. We can now install our head. Newton meters. Now change it to 24 Newton meters. All torqued down. Now we can install our flywheel. So look on your flywheel for the woodruff key, and look on your shaft for the slot. Put it on there. Rotate it around until it slides on, shouldn't take much. Rotate it around, make sure it's all good. And grab a bit of Loctite. Now you're going to torque this. This is one of the only torque specs I remember off by heart. 81 foot-pounds. So make sure when you've disassembled it, you keep your lock washer. Now what you want to do before you go ahead and start tightening, so you can actually tighten it up, grab a rag and stick it in the closest cylinder. So rule of thumb is if you have if you're taking off a flywheel, to stick a rag or something in the cylinder, the side of the flywheel that you're taking off. So if I was taking off the PTO side, I put in the PTO side cylinder. Rightio, so now we're going to get our timing right and put our rotary valve in. So to get our timing right, what you need is one of these, degree wheel, and a long screwdriver. So since I've already put my mag case on, or mag flywheel case, whatever you want to call it, just put my PTO flywheel, just screw it on. What I just want to find, put this down into the spark plug hole, and I just want to find top dead center. And just as it starts to come back down, just want to find that point right in the middle, and that's top dead center there. So now you can take your degree wheel, you're going to find, there it is, 360, there it is. So you see it's just a solid line that goes through. You're going to put that on the bottom of the port, and then you're going to set it to 147. So you got 140, 145, 146, 147. So I'm just going to grab my little screwdriver, put a little hash in, I actually already have the hash there from when I rebuilt it before. So now take that off, take my rotary valve, line it up with that line. It's just a little bit off, which it is. It's a little bit over that line. Flip it over and drop it in. Boom. Just right on. Now, we'll just double check. Top dead center. Double check that one more time. Right. It's in there. And go 360 again. Put it on the bottom of it there. Then you can go 140, 145, 146, 47. Boom, that is perfectly timed now. Now you can grab your valve cover. Make sure you put this O-ring in. All spins freely. It's binding. Looking good. So now we're going to put our raves in. Rave valves. So rebuild these. Pretty easy to do. And like that. So there you have it. Just rebuilt 787 engine. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found it helpful. There are a lot of other videos online that are probably better than mine on how to rebuild these. Probably go in a bit more detail. But I just thought I'd take you guys along while I rebuild my 787. Thanks for watching the video, and you'll see me next time.